What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I've really outdone myself, honestly. I made a roasted fall vegetable fettuccine Alfredo with roasted chicken, Parmesan cheese on top, and I made a crispy chicken skin Gremolata on top and added some greens from the carrot tops. There's so much more for me to tell you guys about this, but I want to just start eating first and then we can chat. Oh my gosh. The sauce tasted so good. Before I added the fettuccine to it, I tasted it and oh my gosh, guys. The roasted vegetable flavor. Unreal. Also, I'm like hot already. Taking that off. I don't care what my hair looks like. Alright guys, I'm gonna try to eat with my left hand as much as I can because I hate blocking my light. I'm sure you guys have seen me switch before. Anyways, bon appetito. Already switched back. That is unbelievably good. The deep roasted flavor from those vegetables adds so much to this. And just the simple Gremolata on top, which also has lemon zest in it, by the way, adds such freshness and this like bright but at the same time salty, crunchy flavor. It's, why have I not made chicken skin Gremolata before? Good Lord. I know how much y'all love fettuccine Alfredo, but I don't want to be that page that is just making things because you guys like it. I want to at least come up with a creative way to change it or make it my own. So I'm sure you guys noticed I didn't add all of the roasted vegetables that you saw at the beginning of the video to the food processor. I'm actually going to make soup with the rest of it. So I'm just going to puree the rest, add chicken stock, some spices, instant soup. So the chicken, I was actually checking the doneness of it as it went along. I set the timer for like 35 to 40 minutes and then started checking the smaller pieces. And I just took them out as they were done. And then I took the skins off when I took each piece out of the oven, and I put them back on the pan and put them back in to really crisp up the skins. I feel like I have hat hair. And then another amazing idea that actually my mother had when I was on the phone with her. I showed her the crispy chicken skins that had just come out, and there were all these little brown bits all over the pan from when the chicken cooked. And so I ended up deglazing the pan with a little bit of chicken stock, and all that really means is while the pan is still hot, adding liquid to it and really scraping all those brown bits off the bottom. And then I used that liquid when I blended up all the vegetables in the food processor. I'm sure you guys saw like what looked to be a brownish liquid that went in there. That's what that was. And it's just straight chicken fatty flavor. Like amazing, amazing. Can't get that from salt. You can't get that from seasoning. Oh my goodness. And then I'm sure you noticed I forgot to add the roasted garlic to the food processor, so I ended up just adding in with the raw garlic that I had. And the raw garlic, I actually had sliced the top of the garlic off and noticed that there's still plenty of garlic left on there that I wasn't putting into roast. So I was like, oh, I'll just use the rest of the garlic in the saute pan, and then we have two different types of garlic. Garlic two ways. Honestly, the Gremolata, like the sauce tastes amazing. Obviously that like roasted vegetable fall flavor, oh my gosh. But the Gremolata is like making this for me. Also, this is so much lighter than a typical Alfredo, obviously. I used 1 cup of cream. I still used plenty of cheese, but normally I would use over a pint of heavy whipping cream. So less cream, probably the same amount of cheese, but you're getting all of the vegetables in here too. And you notice I saved a lot of pasta water, like probably 2 full cups of pasta water, and I'm so glad that I did because it just adds to the sauce without taking anything away from it, and the starch in it keeps the sauce together. It doesn't water it down, if that makes any sense. If you're vegan, you could 100% try this with a vegan creamer, like maybe an oat milk creamer. You could try it with coconut milk if you wanted, and then just whatever vegan substitute for Parmesan cheese. I think that'd be a really, really easy thing to substitute, especially since it's not just those flavors. The friggin' crispy chicken skin. And the chicken just makes it so much heartier. By the way, I really do try to not waste any food when I film. And that goes beyond just what's left here. First of all, Shane and I are both gonna eat this. But beyond that, the carrot tops, like the rest of the greens, the tops of the leeks, and the fennel fronds, I actually put in a vase over on the counter, and I'm going to try to use them for something else. I read that you can roast the leek greens. You just have to roast them for a bit longer, and that you can add them to a soup. So actually my plan tonight was to roast the leek greens and then puree them with the rest of the vegetables that we have. And then I know that fennel and pork go really well together. So I was thinking maybe I can make a salad and have some pork for dinner tomorrow night. Not sure how much longer they'll last, but I feel like I'll have at least a few days to figure out something else to do with them, because it is my full intention to not waste any of that food. God, I want more of that Gremolata. Oh my goodness. P.S. I added all the chicken in here. So full on, there is an entire chicken that I had pulled the meat off of. That went in here. Dribbling down my chin. Real cute. Butters, where did you go? Butters was literally sitting on a stool just watching me cook for like 30 minutes before I started eating. I'm like, oh my god, you're so cute. Oh, what the frick are you doing? It's warm out. Where is the fly situation coming from? I freaking hate fruit flies. I will actively not squash bugs when I see them. Outside, if I saw like a spider or whatever. But fruit flies and mosquitoes are not in that category. They are in the I don't care, I just don't want you near me or my food category. They're just gross. And they like to go in my wine. By the way, what the frick? I looked up what kind of wine was good with regular fettuccine Alfredo, and it said either a Chardonnay or a Beaujolais type wine from France. So I ended up getting the Beaujolais. I just like red wine better than white wine. This happened to be, I guess, a little bit fuller than the Pinot Noir, but still has plenty of acidity to be able to cut through the richness of the sauce. All right, guys, well, I am feeling pretty good right now. This was so good. I highly recommend you try this out for yourself. Yes, it's a little involved. It's not the simplest or the quickest recipe I've ever made, but it's actually not difficult. Like, the difficulty level is not that high. So I have full confidence that you guys will be able to do it yourselves at home too. I highly recommend getting one of those meat thermometers. I have one of those. It's got the temperatures written right on it. At least mine does. When you stick it in, you just want to make sure you're not hitting the bone. That's what she said. Otherwise, you won't get an accurate reading. But it was super helpful for me today, needing to check different pieces of chicken that all went in at the same time. Otherwise, everything else was just prep work, more or less. Cutting the vegetables, sprinkling them, putting in the oven. I mean, the oven does most of the work. And if you don't have a food processor or a hand blender, you certainly could use a hand blender. You would just need like a taller container and add the liquid in before you start blending. You probably need more liquid too if you're using a hand blender. But if you don't have a food processor, I'd say just make the sauce without the pureed vegetables and just chop them up really small. Then you could just toss the veg with the pasta still in chunks. Really not a big deal. Though I think it really does add to the sauce in a big way. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really loved this super duper fall recipe. Possibly another contender for Thanksgiving. Really trying to take advantage of produce that's in season, really wondering what December is going to bring. So if you have any suggestions for winter produce that you want me to use in my videos, definitely comment that below. Let me know what you thought about this recipe. Would you guys make it yourself at home? Of course, comment what you'd like to see me make next, including, but not limited to, pasta and mac and cheese. This recipe was all mine, and I will include how I did it in the description of the video. There is no link, and as you could see, I was kind of just adjusting as I went along. I didn't know how much pasta water I was gonna need. I was just adding until the sauce consistency seemed right. I actually still have some pasta water, which I love getting extra of, by the way, for leftovers. I find that when you heat up dishes like this, they just dry out, and having extra pasta water to add to it just wakens the whole thing back up. It's like back to life. Anyways, I'll add all of the recipe things in the description of the video for you, and I'll see you guys next time. Kisses back.